Well, that was kind of a fascinating saga. When I first joined Radical Women, because of, I think, running into them, I started thinking about the working class. I'd always been a little mystified by this. I got to tell you an aside. I remember going to a discussion up on Capitol Hill right before I joined Radical Women. It must have been, 50 women in a room talking about the subject of the working class. And I swear we all had this concept that being in the working class was having been born into a family that was working class. We had no idea that it was, oh, you work for a living. So anyway, so I was interested in labor organizing, and I worked in a nursing home for a little while, and then because another member of Radical Women was an organizer actually for the union that was organizing nursing home workers. Well, around that time she left the organization and left her job as an organizer, and I had no idea what to do to organize, people in nursing homes. So, I kind of left that because the work is just incredible, and I was no union organizer because I'd never done this before. So then I moved to an industrial laundry for a while and worked there and had some interesting times, circulated some petitions about the bad conditions there and stuff, but found out that the union was pretty much a company union owned by the Teamsters, who at that time were totally right-wing. And, they didn't even tell the members of the laundry workers that they were affiliated with the Teamsters. And we had no say in anything.
They just took the dues out of your paycheck.
Yeah, right. And then in 74, I think, Radical Women and also the Freedom Socialist Party got involved in a big organizing thing at the University of Washington, because the university was instituting this classification system, reclassification system, that was going to downgrade the jobs and the pay of a lot of the secretarial jobs, and also the jobs that people of color held, the
Right.
janitorial, the kitchen, and so on. And people were outraged and mobilized and started having meetings against it, and ended up, because the unions weren't particularly interested in organizing a lot of these jobs of the lower paid workers, ended up having a strike on campus, first one ever. And also, although it didn't go by the name, it was really the beginning of comparable worth, because the whole thing that people got involved in was looking at the different tasks that people did in their jobs and comparing those across job categories and saying, hey, our work is just as valuable as these, people over here who fix the electrical system or whatever. And that's comparable worth. So anyway, so I was really fascinated by that whole thing, and I walked the picket line in the rain and stuff, and was just, kind of looking around for something to do. And then City Light, one of the founders of Radical Women, Clara Fraser, had been hired by City Light in 72 or 3 or something.
In what respect? What was her position there?
She was an education coordinator. And actually she was hired out of the anti-poverty program, which is a big federal program. And she had been a job specialist, helping people, helping find jobs for people and training them how the skills they needed in order to hold jobs. And so she was an expert in this field, and like a lot of other radicals, you know, a lot of the poverty program was staffed by radicals because they were organizers and they knew how to do these things.
Right.
So she was hired by City Light. They knew full well she was a radical because what they wanted her to do was to craft this electrical trades trainee program for women.